Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new to our channel, my name is Lena and that guy in the excavator there is Tim. He's my husband. We own a small heavy equipment and trucking company up here in Northern Ontario, Canada. What he's unloading off the float there is a new to us Cat 314 excavator. This is its first day out the door. It's April 14th. As you can see, we still have snow on the ground. What happened was spring started and things started to melt, and then we got a freak rainstorm and it washed out so many roads in our area that we can't even keep count. So this is 2 days after the freak weather and we're going to begin the cleanup efforts. So the first thing we're going to do is rescue the people that have been stranded. We're going to do this little one right here. This is a main flow through road, so the trucks are gonna have to come through here. So we're gonna fix this little one, but believe me, they get a lot bigger and worse as we go along today. So whether you believe in global warming or not, this has been the weirdest winter on record that I can remember. And this weather event is definitely one of a kind. We never could have been prepared for it. You see, in the summer months, that much rainfall would be no problem, but because it's early in the season, the ground is still frozen, so the water can absorb into the ground, so it just flows over the top of everything. So we have our one excavator out today, the float truck that we're going to move the excavator around with, and then our grader is doing some smaller washouts in other areas. This here's another contractor that is brought in to help. He's going to load one load in here, and that should do it for this little one.
Good. What's your other guy got on? Yeah, that'd be one probably. Yes, the bridge is pretty high there. What's your birthday? Darwin? Where's your big boss today? Sleep with
So what he's dumping in there is a load of B-type 2 gravel. It's a thicker 2-inch crushed gravel, so we'll use that to fill the road. The excavator will fill in the hole, patch it all up, and then what will happen is we'll take off and then another truck will bring in a load of grade A gravel and our grader will spread it out for us while we head on to the next one. It's so early that the quarry wasn't even open yet, so they had to open special to help everybody out. You can see there's large chunks of frozen gravel in there. I imagine the loader had some fun loading it, but we're all doing our part. So far I'm loving the new Cat 314 excavator. It's coming in really handy. It has the double cylinders on the blade, so it's able to push a lot more gravel than what we normally would have used, the 307. Our other machine is the 320, so it actually would have been overkill and there's no blade on that one. In the spring, all these roads get what is called a half-load sign put on them. So trucks are normally only able to bring in half loads because the roads are made out of clay underneath and they're very, very soft on the edges. So that's another reason why we had to patch this road before the trucks come through. If they go on the sides, they could get easily stuck or even flip. So we'll let this truck go through and let him test it out. It doesn't even have the load of A on it yet. But we're going to take off. We're going to go start fixing the bigger ones. The grader can finish off this job. love this excavator. It's so much easier to load than the big 320. Before Tim started this business, I didn't know much about heavy equipment. I worked in human resources in a hospital, so I knew medical stuff. Now I work with him and I know a lot about machines, and I love that machine. I saw this one for sale on the internet and I thought, hey, I really like that one. I'm going to buy it. So I bought it, and then I said to Tim, surprise, look what you got coming in. So we're still on the main flow-through road. This one's called Rose Grove. We're going to park up here because the side road we're going to go on right now is called Wild Rose. It is really narrow and it has some really big hills in on it. So we're going to stay up here and he's just going to track down the hills. So what happened on this road, Wild Rose, we have 3 large washouts and we have people stranded all in between. So they're getting priority on this day. So one of the trucks already dropped off a load of gravel while we were on the other one, so that's great. We could get started right away. I don't know if you can see the size of the washout, but it is quite deep. I'll try to get in there and have a better look. So we're down in the shade here. There's not a lot of sun, so a lot of the ditches still have a lot of snow in it. So when it rained, a lot of the rain went underneath the snow and then it washed out the roads. So what we're going to do is some snow ditching. So we're going to ditch all on the road so that the water can flow, and he's going to repair this big hole. Here, I'll just show you how frozen the gravel still is. So as you can see, the culvert did not fail here. It did its job. It just wasn't big enough to handle the influx of water that came in on Friday. So the big rain happened on Friday, and as it started coming down, we were just getting road washouts everywhere. We were running around trying to save as many roads as we could. This area is called Auto Township, and we did save a couple, but then it just started coming in too fast, and as you can see, it's a really wet area. So we ended up having to jump to another area where we were able to rescue some people that were living on a dead-end road. Not some people, there's actually quite a few. So we worked hours in the pouring rain, but we were able to save their road, so they weren't stranded, which is great. There's actually not a lot of contractors around here. It's kind of a dying business. It's really hard. Everything's so friggin' expensive, and there's not a lot of money to be made. So we just work on our own, and we do our own thing, and we try to keep expenses as low as we can. So it's pretty much just Tim and I, and then we have Dave on the grader. He's retired, but he comes in and helps us out when he can. And then, you know, we have family members that will come and help once in a while if we beg them to. But that guy right there in that excavator, he works like 4 men. He's the mechanic, he's the operator, he does physical labor, he does everything. This washout wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was enough to stop traffic, but it's not as deep as I thought it was going to be, so that's good. We can fix this up pretty quickly. And at least a few people will be able to get out shortly. So the verdict's in. He told me he does like this machine. He actually likes it a lot. Everything he likes about it except for one thing, that thumb. It's obviously not a custom thumb. It doesn't fit right. It's too high. It doesn't fit between the teeth. So I could see in the future we're going to get a proper one built and added on, and then it will be a perfect machine. So I just left for 1 minute and I came back and it looks like he flipped that bucket around and now he's going to do some snow ditching. So that's something unique to this one too. Well, for us unique. Our other machines don't have it. This machine has a pin grabber, so it's easy to add attachments and switch them out very easily. So he was able to drop the bucket, flip it around, and put it back on, and makes a really easy time of snow ditching, as you can see here. And for those of you that don't have to live at the North Pole like we do, snow ditching is important so that the water can flow, so it doesn't hamper the flow of water, and then it won't wash across the road. So we actually have some rain in the forecast coming up again, so this is important. The fellow you see standing in the road there, his name is Calvin. He is the Ministry of Transportation representative. He has a really large area under his umbrella, and he's probably going crazy right now. He's running around all over the place because he has crews like ours in several areas. Here's a little demo on how the pin grabber works. Basically, he just pushes a button in the machine and it releases the pins on the bucket, and then he can flip it around or switch attachments, and then he just hooks on, presses a button, and he's back in business. So this is pretty cool. On his other machines, he always had to get out, pound out the pins by hand, and it was actually a lot of work. So this is quicker, easier, and I'm really happy with it. Well, that is looking pretty darn amazing. That's something else really nice with that machine. Look at the blade. He's able to push a lot of gravel just like a bulldozer, so without an extra piece of machine. So now we're going to take off and let the grader finish up here. This is another washout on the same road on the other end. So this is actually a pretty big one. There's a smaller one in the middle, and we decided to let the grader come in and fix that one, and we'll concentrate on this one. I don't know if you can see how big it is there. See, there's still snow on the road here. The grader never came through here. So this area actually washes out once in a while. I think they're gonna have to come up with a more permanent fix, but for now we are gonna patch it up. These truck drivers are fearless. This road hasn't been graded. It is slippery, wet clay. So he's dropping us off a load of B type 2 gravel. So we'll put B type 2 on the bottom because it's a coarser material.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't find them.
If you notice there where they're standing, it is grass, overgrown grass, and that's basically what kept everything from washing out completely. That's crazy how Mother Nature works. If that wasn't there, there would have been a lot more damage. The culverts actually may have floated away. The video is actually deceiving. It's not really showing you how deep it is. I'm going to estimate we're going to need about 4 loads of the B type 2 gravel and probably 2 loads of the A over top. So this says washed out here before, but never to this magnitude. See the folks on the other side watching? They're actually people that have been stranded in their homes for the last 2 days, so I'm sure they're super happy to see us. So right now he's just going to fish in here to get some of the ice at the culvert. So I think What happened here was there was some ice dammed up and the culverts actually were not completely doing their job. We end up coming to this location at least once a year. There's a beaver problem. They like to dam up the river as much as they can. As you can see, he got some of the water flowing, so that is good. So I'm 51. I've obviously lived here for a long time. This is the first time I've seen flooding of this magnitude. It's absolutely crazy. We never could have expected it. It came right out of the blue. And it didn't just affect the outlying areas. In town, I believe there's over 100 homes that have been flooded. Sewage is backing up. It's just an absolute mess. And we're not used to natural disasters up here. We get like a lot of snow, we get blizzards and things like that, but like flooding and severe storms, it just doesn't happen up here, so we're not used to it at all. Oh, one thing I didn't mention too, that it's actually Sunday, so everybody gave up their weekend to come help these people out. That's our grader there. It's an old champion, but she runs like a top. She does her job. And the operator is Dave. He's actually our neighbor. He's been with us for probably about 8 years. He's been running around all these roads all day long to take care of some of the smaller washouts. So that truck's going to dump some A-gravel, the grader's going to take care of it, and we're going to go take care of one last washout for the day. We're not going to be able to finish it, but we're going to do enough to get them out. These people are stranded on a dead-end road. I've been watching him in this machine all day long. I still love it. I'm really happy with the purchase. He's gonna have to track into this one because there's nowhere to turn the truck around in there. So we already had a load of gravel dropped off before we got here, and I don't know if you can see how deep those holes are, but it's a good one. This is also an area where we come at least once a year. It's a problem area. They're really gonna have to come up with a permanent solution. And it probably will be this week because the actual culverts have damage. You can see on the side there, the gravel is just washing right in. The culverts came apart. So we're gonna just do a temporary fix today, get these folks out of here, and then we'll come back later in the week. So if you watch this video, we thank you. Your support means so much to us. And if you would consider subscribing, we have more videos coming of this natural disaster. We take videos of our work along the summer, some in the winter, and we'd love to have you along. Thanks for watching.